Hey everyone, it's Allison Ramey. As you know, I'm with PSAC. Got my hat on. Plainfield Sherwood Area Chamber of Commerce. I am the Marketing and Membership Engagement Coordinator. Today is Where's Allison? It's 2 o'clock, so let's see where we are. My clue, it was like a little graphic. It's like a little compass with the W circled and money signs everywhere else. So we are at West Point Financial Group. If you don't know Jeff Burgess and you haven't seen him around town, well, you should meet him. He's a really friendly guy and he has some good tips for you. So we're gonna go see him at his office in Lyle. All right, there's Jeff.
Well, hey, Allison.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Good, how are you?
I'm
Come
good.
on in.
So this is what a client would see at your office, huh?
Yeah.
And there's
absolutely.
Delaney. Hi, Delaney. That's my goddaughter's name, by the way, so it's
Beautiful.
kind of
Fantastic.
awesome.
You find everything okay?
Yeah, it was
All right, cool.
easy right off the expressway. Oh, awesome.
After you,
Thank you very much.
this is our Morton room.
Yeah, all right, so let me show the cool view. So
So
this
do you
is,
know why it's called the Morton room?
because of Morton Arboretum, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is very classy. Glass windows and everything. Yep, there's my car right there. Perfect.
I've been told that we might see an airplane or two because we are in the flight pattern
Oh, really?
for, here. Let me
So
see here.
you sit there. And I'll sit
Cool.
here.
Hey, Facebook Live.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what you do. What got you into being a financial advisor?
That's a good question. Okay, so backtrack 16 years ago. No, I was not 5. But I was actually a tax advisor
Okay.
out of school. So I worked for H&R Block for 6 years as a tax advisor in Naperville.
Okay.
That was kind of one of those things where I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Okay. Did I have a passion for it?
I didn't have a passion for like the tasks, like the monotonous stuff.
Okay.
Because to me that was simple. I know that maybe comes off a little arrogant, but like to me taxes aren't as complex.
Okay.
But what I did love is meeting with people. Right?
Relationship building.
Exactly. So when you do somebody's taxes,
Hi, Anna.
hi Anna, for the second time today.
Right.
When you do somebody's taxes, you get to know them as a person, and that's what I liked, right?
Okay.
So I kind of got to this crossroads of, okay, I like helping people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm good at building relationships because you have to continuously grow your book if you want to grow your practice, right?
Yeah.
So, and then taking even one more step back, I actually have 8 years of restaurant experience.
Oh, I didn't know about
Fun
that.
fact, yeah. I've been a server, a bartender. I was an assistant manager for 3 years at a place. So it was funny because like the tax side of things combined with all the like social skills you learn in the bartending world, it's crazy. But I didn't realize at the time, but I was actually a really good fit to work in this role.
Okay.
So, so I went through a bunch of interviews. Actually, the first company I worked for was AIG.
AIG, okay.
Yep. So I worked there for about 18 months, and then January 6th, 2016, a day that will forever live in infamy, we all got laid off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so about 3,000 of us with like literally zero warning. My boss's boss's boss didn't even see it coming.
Oh, wow.
It was kind of definitely a scary time, but it was a blessing in disguise because I went through the interview process. I had like a really good start early in my career. I went through the interview process with 34 different companies.
Oh, wow.
So for like 3 months, I was probably working more if you count interviews as work.
Yeah.
I was working more than like actual work. But I didn't want to have that experience again. Like having corporate come in with security guards and boxes.
Not fun. Yeah.
No. So long story short is I ended up at Mass Mutual.
Okay.
So if you saw on the sign when you walked in, it says West Point Financial Group. And then below it says a Mass Mutual firm. So Mass Mutual, a lot of people watching may have heard of. We're one of the largest financial services companies in the U.S.
Okay.
Mass is short for Massachusetts.
Oh, I thought large.
Well, that too. That too.
Because you said biggest. So.
Yeah. So actually, Mass Mutual is based out of Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
If you ever meet somebody who happens to be from Springfield, Massachusetts, I guarantee you, well, for sure they know Mass Mutual, but there's a very strong likelihood that they worked, or like a family member or a neighbor worked for Mass Mutual. It's kind of like how Ford was. Like,
okay,
back
yeah,
in the day,
Detroit.
right? But Mass Mutual has been around since 1851,
Wow.
which is a really, really long time. But West Point Financial Group, so you have like Mass Mutual, and then you have, I just kind of call them like franchisees essentially,
Okay.
even though we're technically not, but
Okay.
it's a similar concept where you have firms in all different parts of the country, and West Point Financial Group is kind of the Midwest powerhouse within Mass Mutual, right?
All right.
So our hub is in Indy, we have offices in Cincy, Louisville, Peoria, Chicago, Madison, and Milwaukee.
Oh, okay, so totally Midwest for sure.
Yep.
Cool.
So I've been with the company for 8 years, and in July it'll be my 10-year anniversary in the business in total. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. 10 years.
Yeah.
Now, so you've been in the business for a long time. One thing with COVID and everything, a lot of people are working from home. I bet that's kind of cool too, because you can help people near and far.
Oh, totally.
Like everywhere, right?
Yeah. A lot of blessings kind of came out of COVID, right? You always got to take the positive with the negative. But when we couldn't sit this close.
Nope, we could not.
Like, we'd be totally breaking the law, right? But there was a huge need. So people who didn't have good relationships with their current advisor, or just didn't have an advisor at all during COVID, like, we were at the top of like people's minds. What do I do with my money? What the heck's going on in the market? Like, how do I salvage every penny? And what it led to was, the boom of Zoom, if you will.
Yeah.
Where now today running the Zoom meeting is super simple. I mean,
Yeah.
we're on your phone talking to people in the Facebook group, which is super cool. Hey, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. I just showed them that you're watching.
Love it. But yeah, so Zoom meetings, like, we're in Lisle right now, right? I live in Plainfield, as hopefully everybody watching here knows, but I have clients in like 15 or 16 different states, right? So I can literally work wherever I have a computer, electricity, and an internet connection. And I can help people in all 50 states.
Now, what is what does your typical client look like? Is there a commonality, or are they all kind of different? It's whoever.
Everybody's different. Like, I would say from a personality standpoint, I work with all different likes of people. But in terms of like just general characteristics, there's really two types. So it's actually people like you and I, right? That's just natural market, established in their careers, typically married, sometimes have kids, probably homeowners, right? And you're kind of getting into that mindset of like, okay, maybe student loans are gone, and now I have a few extra dollars, and like our parents are kind of retiring or maybe have been retired, and so it starts to become kind of on the forefront of people's minds. And then the other segment I work with are our parents' age, right? So, kind of in your 60s, 70s. I call those clients retirees. So people who have like 10 or less years until they're going to retire. And you have to make some really, really big decisions. Yeah. Right? Probably the biggest decisions you've ever made in your life. And you have to talk about all the other things along the way, like what's your tax plan? What's the plan in case, something happens with your health? Well, now your expenses rise. What's the best way to draw Social Security? What do I do with my investments? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But those are the two kind of main segments of people I work with.
Yeah, now you got me thinking already. I remember seeing you at one of the things I actually held at the brokerage I used to work at with our attorney. So yeah, that kind of makes sense why you wanted to learn, because you were trying to set up your clients. That makes sense. So what I'm talking about is real estate
estate planning.
Yes, estate planning. Thank you. So that kind of connects with you then, obviously.
Yeah. So I'm not an attorney, never will be. I would love to leave the legal stuff to
them.
People who are certified to do that. But like estate planning, general estate planning truly complements the work that I do with my clients, right?
Yeah.
Because we can map out the perfect future and the perfect income strategy, all this stuff, but unfortunately nobody lives forever. Right? And so the attorneys come in and do the estate planning piece so that people can still make decisions about their money after they die. Which is kind of a wild thing to think about, but it really just complements all the work that we do. So that's why I was at your event years ago, which was awesome, by the way.
Well, that's good. What else? Is there any like fun tidbits or anything? I know this is kind of throwing this at you, but if you had to give someone one piece of advice about saving or whatever, what would it be?
Start yesterday. I mean, we've all probably heard, the best time to save is now. There's a concept called the time value of money.
Okay.
Right? And so if you're not familiar with it, basically the time value of money, it does factor in returns in the, in the markets, right, with your investments. But what it also includes is how long your money is in the market. So you could take like a 25-year-old and a 40-year-old and have them both save the same amount of money, have their investments, the exact same way, and they both stop, 20 years from now. By their respective ages of 65, the 25-year-old has like 3x the amount of net worth that the 40-year-old does, just because their money stayed in the market for a longer time. So for anybody young, and by the way, young is like pretty much everybody. I mean, if you're in your 50s and you're thinking like, gosh, it's just too late for me, I haven't saved enough, I hate to tell you, but I would encourage you to maybe reconsider that thought, right? Because it's never too late to start saving, and something is always better than nothing. I don't work with a ton of 20-something-year-olds, but the exciting part in working with that age group is they might save small, but they have 4 decades before they retire to save. And that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch upon?
Yeah. Sometimes people hear the term financial advisor, which I work as a financial advisor as well as a financial planner.
Okay.
Two kind of slightly different pieces, but fairly related. Financial advisors sometimes are people who only manage wealth, right? So they're only going to kind of talk about your investments. I'm what's called a fiduciary. Have you heard of that term before, right? So fiduciary, I have a legal capacity to do the right thing and make the proper recommendations to my clients. And a lot of that is done by thoroughly interviewing people, right? We kind of have the carpenter's mentality. Do you know what that is?
No, but I know you're going to explain it. So I'm like,
So carpenter's mentality, right, is measure twice and cut once.
Oh, there you go.
Right?
I do know that though.
Yeah,
so
you do.
Yes,
right?
I do know.
So it's kind of the same way, but with somebody who has a holistic practice like myself, it's not just investments, right? So we need to plan for the unforeseen. So that includes a lot of risk management. Okay, so this could look like life insurance. It could look like disability insurance, which protects your income. Long-term care insurance for my retirees, right? Super, super important. And as well as if you've ever worked with like annuities, those are risk management products, right? So they remove risk from the equation. So when you hear financial advisor, whether it's myself or somebody else, dig a little bit deeper if you really want to know what that person does, because it can mean a fair amount of different things.
Okay.
But as a fiduciary and as a holistic planner, we kind of cover the full spectrum.
Oh, good to know. Now, if someone wanted to start, like Nicole or Megan or Don, who is watching, or Anna, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I don't know. Can they see? Is this backwards?
It is
How does
backwards.
this work? But my phone number is up here.
630-624-00.
I'll give you the right one. It's 630-254.
Oh, sorry.
0609. That's probably my handwriting.
No.
You can find me on Facebook. Shoot me a message. Every potential new client starts with a 20-minute conversation.
Okay.
And I stick to that. You noticed when you walked in, there was not a line out the door.
No.
Right? Nobody's beating down our doors waiting to talk to us. It just doesn't work that way, similar in the real estate world.
Correct.
Right? So
they go on Plainfield Mamas. I'm just kidding.
No, you know what? That works too. It's always good to get a referral, and that's how I get about 98% of my clients.
Okay.
But it's all word of mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the reason that people aren't knocking down our doors is because they're typically afraid. They don't know how to start the process. They don't know what topics we're going to necessarily talk about.
Yeah.
And there's this fear of kind of the unknown.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe people who are watching neglect going to the doctor because they don't want to potentially be told bad news. It's the same kind of psychology there. So 20 minutes, we get to know each other. It's kind of like a first date, grabbing coffee, right? Like no commitments, just let's get to know each other, see if there's maybe vibes. And then obviously we're interviewing each other. Do I want to work with that person? Do they want to work with me? Because this is intended to be long term, right?
All right.
So we go over that. We agree mutually. Does it make sense to then schedule a more formal meeting, right? Where then I'll ask you about savings and money and objectives and goals and all that good stuff. But you can reach out on Facebook. You can comment in this video. Plenty of ways to get a hold of me.
Cool. All right, then. Well, I'm enlightened. I know my wife takes care of that for me usually, so this kind of enlightened me.
Yeah, awesome.
Are you going tomorrow to cruise nights?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then check out Jeff tomorrow. I know I will be there. Champ will be there, which I almost brought Champ and then I forgot, so I apologize that Champ didn't
Last time
see
I
it.
saw Champ, he was on a forklift with me.
Yes.
It was his idea, not mine, by the way.
But he will be there tomorrow, rain or shine. I think the weather is actually going to cooperate with us, though. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's Where's Allison. Tomorrow, there is not going to be a toot your horn tomorrow. Remember, they're switching to Thursdays now because Tuesdays are now cruise night. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. And if you have any questions or concerns or want to get in touch with Jeff, comment below, text me, message him, whatever. All right. Guys, have a great day.
Thanks so much.